back up in your ass with the resurrection. Is the group harder than an erection that shows no affection? They want to ban us on Capitol Hill, 'cause it's die motherfuckers still. I don't know any more of the words to that song. I mean, I do, but I don't know, like, the order they go in and whatnot. That was Die Motherfucker Still by Ghetto Boys. Ghetto Boys for life. Oh, fuck. Jumps on a killing spree again. We guillotine for men. I walk around town with a frown on my face. Fuck the whole world, gonna get your murder case. The murder rate may increase if there's something in the forest getting fire. I guarantee you flying, 'cause I am on the verge of knocking motherfuckers out for no reason. Plus I get down with your breezing in season. Hey! I don't know what Astro Boy looks like. Let's draw Astro Boy for no reason whatsoever. There is a reason. There's always a reason. It's not always a good reason, but there's always a reason. Why did you murder my baby? Well, you know, there was a reason for it. Not a good one, but a reason nonetheless. Oh, hi everyone. Hi, it's been a minute. I don't know what I'm doing. Do I ever? It's arguable. No, I don't. I've been very, very unwell. I'm not even sure how I sound, because did you ever? That was a weird one. Did you know? I swear I wrote this down somewhere else. Did you know things to do? What? There were these Where's Wally books, or Where's Waldo for the Yanks. And there was a series of magazines where, like, Wally travels the world, and there's all like Wally in Egypt, and you find him in Egypt, and there's facts about Egypt based on Egypt because Wally's in Egypt or Antarctica or fuck wherever. And I guess this was very early in the days of me being able to read, and there was sections of like facts about the things and hey, shit to do, activities and abuse. So it was like bold text. It would say, "Did you know?" And then like a bunch of words about like facts and stuff. And then it would say in bold text, "Things to do," and then a bunch of little activities. Hey, find the fucking one-legged Egyptian man. Find the dog that's upside down in Egypt land. Whatever. But me being, I was maybe 5 or something, 10, 12, 15, I saw this bold text and this bold text, and I figured if they're on, see if it's like a page like this, or maybe it was a double page spread, and this is all a picture with like shit going on, well, Where's Wally picture, and then there's like a picture here, and like, did you know? And then some facts, and then things to do, and a picture, and then text, and like that. So I saw this magazine, this little like, you know, kids play Wally magazine, whatever, and I saw bold text, and I assumed that because they're the same kind of bold text, they must be connected. So I thought, did you know things to do was like one sentence, and I did like, but I didn't know that, like, I knew the word no, but I didn't know it. Like, I also knew the word no, and I thought that was like, did you know things to do? Like, did you not have anything to do? I thought it said, did you know things to do? Like, did you know things? Did you have no things to do? It doesn't make any fucking sense. It's fucking stupid. But I was young and didn't really understand words. That's a complete fucking irrelevant non sequitur. Sequitur. I always say that. I say don't mix up sequitur and sequitur. Secateurs are like gardening tools. So I was very sick. What was I? Did you know? Did you know things to do? Did you know things to do? Did you ever lose your voice and then you get like a backup voice? Like you have your voice, your boring everyday voice, and then you lose your voice and you talk like this, and I can't really talk because I've lost my voice. But then, before your regular voice comes back, you sometimes get this like backup voice that kind of sounds like this. It's like your voice compensating for not having a voice. And for me, it's like a much deeper, sexier voice than my usual voice. And it actually, if I sing with that sort of like backup voice, it sounds really good. And then I get my normal voice back and I sound like a shit and a shite and a shite, which is really annoying. But currently I'm not quite sure. I think, do I sound normal today? I think I'm more or less back to my normal voice. I was a little worried I'd have like my backup voice and I'd come on here and record myself talking and everyone would be like, whoa, who's this fucking sex bag talking in Ewan's podcast? He's got Ewan's stupid hands drawing his little pictures, but I don't recognise the voice. Ewan must have hired out someone to do his silly little podcast. But I think I sound normal. I think I'm back to my regular, everyday, boring, dull, sometimes a little bit nasally voice. So that's just that. I think the whole illness came from getting caught out in the rain in London without a jacket or anything, and the rain fucking came down. It was a full-on storm. I was just out in the rain. I couldn't really do anything about it, and then I got sick. A little bit of a fever for a couple of days, and then just the worst fucking sore throat I've ever had. Like, I don't even want to call it a sore throat, because I phoned doctors to be like, it hurts so much, I'm in so much pain. And they're like, oh, it's a sore throat, you'll be fine. But it was impossibly painful. I couldn't really sleep or eat or drink for days and days, like 3 or 4 days in a row. Like, I'd fall asleep for about 10-15 minutes and then swallow, and the absolute fucking agony caused by swallowing and the pain in my throat jolted me awake, and I was just like, oh, fuck, like holding my throat, just in so much pain. Couldn't sleep, couldn't drink, couldn't eat. It was so fucking bad. Like, I've never had a sore throat like that. It was horrendous. And that with like a little bit of fever sort of blending into that. No energy, I couldn't get shit done. I haven't sent out any books yet because I'm lazy and I don't care. I've barely been posting on it. I posted like twice on Instagram in the last 2 weeks, which is, you know, for me, I'm pretty much good for posting once a day usually, sometimes multiple times a day. But just nothing, because I've just been fucking dead to the world. So no podcasts, but I'm trying to get this one out just as like a, just a little something, just, you know. It's not my usual podcast day or time, but it's just to get something out there. Because I think I'm more or less better now. I get a little twinge of pain in my throat when I swallow every now and again. Like if I go right now, a little ache, but I'm more or less okay. I've been eating lots of ice lollies, popsicles and things. They've been helping a lot. Actually, the ice lollies have been helping me a lot more than any fucking painkillers, any paracetamol or ibuprofen or whatever. Ice lollies save the day, man. Very grateful for those. So why are you drawing Astro Boy, Ewan? Ugh, I feel like I've lost my funny as well. I mean, it's arguable I had any to begin with. If I did have any funny, I feel like I've lost it all. Which is, you know, really relatively unsurprising, but maybe I'm just out of practice. You know, 2 whole weeks off, virtually no drawing, No talking on camera, no podcasting, no nothing. Literally just sitting for days and days doing. I'd sit in my armchair just like wrapped up in blankets and shit, trying to sweat the fever away. Just trying not to swallow, spitting into a cup so I didn't have to swallow my own saliva because it hurt so much. Just filling a mug with fucking phlegm and saliva. Sitting there for hours and hours on end, day after day, just fucking waiting. Knowing that eventually it'll get better, but just having to fucking go through that amount of time, like travel through that amount of time until the point that I get better. So the point of this was nothing grand, nothing amazing. I just thought it might be a little bit of something to do. The Instagram page, Draw Me a Robot, their current draw this in your style challenge thingy is to draw any cartoon robot or whatever in one line without taking your pen off the page. And mostly those sorts of things I'm like, whatever. Like, I don't care about drawing challenges. If it's a draw this in your style challenge, if I quite like the original artwork and I think, oh hey, I could make that kind of fun or interesting if I were to draw it in my style, that could work, then I might give it a go. But things like, draw this without taking your pen off the paper, it's like, I don't really care. It's not me. It's not a thing I'm interested in doing. However, I'd had an image of Astro Boy in my head just because I know he's a fun little robot tyke. And I thought it might just be. I was thinking of trying to get hold of some of those books that have like drawing games in, where it's like a whole book of like, on this page draw a cat, on this page draw a cat from the opposite angle, on this page finish the drawing of whatever it is, like an old man, and what's the old man see, finish the drawing, or like draw the most traumatic event that happened in your childhood that keeps you up at night, that makes you cry when no one's looking. Those, books like that are just full of, every page is draw something different. It could be cool to get one or two of those and like do them, but make them really funny, make them edgy and nasty and mean and vicious and dirty and filthy and rotten. Use like blood and paint and shit and ink. Or I could take one and do it completely seriously and blow everyone away with my blowjob powers. But that's, I don't know, I just thought maybe I could try drawing Astro Boy without taking my pen off the page. So I drew Astro Boy, not a very good Astro Boy. I can readily admit to that. I prefer, have you seen the Ashley Wood Astro Boy? That's one of the better looking Astro Boys because it doesn't look like crummy fucking 70s 80s anime. It looks like an Ashley Wood, whatever. I'm a bit nervous of trying this because I'm not going to do it like like this, like try to be all clean and proper and then go or maybe I could do that, but either way it'll look shit. I figure if I'm going to do it, it's going to be more like this, where like, I mean, technically one line, but with all these other I just took my pen off the, see, that's, it's a challenge for me. It's not something I'm used to doing. Is there even something I can do? Can I even achieve something like that? I don't know. I guess that's something for us to find out, isn't it? And knowing that Astro Boy isn't really the sort of thing I normally draw anyway, it's probably not going to end up being a... I took my pen off the... God damn! God and damn! What if we could pretend I didn't? I could edit this, couldn't I? And it'd be whatever. Do you know what? I genuinely thought about doing that as well. Just draw it and like make it look like if I was going to draw the eyes, make sure I know where the eyes are going to be and the mouth and all. Just make it look like it's all drawn in one line, but don't actually bother doing that because who really gives a shit? And then post the drawing, and everyone will be like, oh, well, it's Ewan, and Ewan's an honest guy, so obviously he's not going to just lie and say he did a thing that he didn't actually do. And then with the video of it, not that I'm necessarily going to have a video of it, but if I did, I could just edit the video in such a way that you never see the pen come off the page. Just cheat. I could just lie and cheat my way through it. Because who gives a fuck? Like I say, I don't give a shit about the challenge or whatever. It'd just be funny. Like, do a drawing that's clearly... Well, not clearly, but more or less clear that I didn't do it in one line. But just say I did. Like, I could do a drawing, I could spend, 5 days on a drawing and say, oh, I did this in 10 minutes. And people would really have to just take my word for it. They just have to be like, oh, well, I mean, if he said he did it in 10 minutes, he probably did it in 10 minutes. I did do one of those, it was sort of a piss take, but there's that sort of drawing, quote-unquote, challenge of, like, draw something in 10 minutes, draw the same thing in 1 minute, draw the same thing in 10 seconds. And it was like 3 goblin faces. And they were all drawn in the exact same way, just in ballpoint pen. Each of them probably took about 5 minutes each, but I said 10 minutes, 10 seconds. Oh no, 10 minutes, 1 minute, and 10 seconds. I think some people were like, no way, shit, how'd you draw that in 10 seconds? That's insane. And a few people were like, obviously he didn't actually do it. Fucking dumb. And one person, I remember specifically, one person thought that it was one drawing that because I had the goblins like facing this way and then sort of forward and then this way. And one person was like, oh, how did you get the one drawing to face the different ways? They thought I took one drawing and then like turned it, and they didn't understand how I'd done that. And then they realised, oh, it's 3 separate. I mean, some people, some fucking people. What can you do? So yeah, so far I've been successful with this one line drawing without taking my pen off the page. I think maybe at the very least I'd like to lightbox the fucking thing. Because that's one of the worst bits of... Well, one of the worst things about those sorts of drawing challenges for me is just the fucking... The drawing just looks shit at the end of it. The drawing, 99.9% of the time, the drawings never look good. It looks like a one-line drawing, like it's made out of bent wire or some shit, like it's one continuous thing. Like, okay, yeah, it's one line, sure, fine, whatever. But it looks shit. It's a shitty-looking drawing. That's the problem for me. So if I could do a drawing without taking my pen off the page and at least make it look like relatively okay, then I might be, somewhat happy with it. And I think getting the proportions and everything is one of the hardest things if you're doing it from scratch in one line. So at least if I lightbox with just the basic outline and then, do a bit like, how did he do this eyebrow floating in space without taking his pen off? That makes no fucking sense. That's because he cheated, because he's a fucking liar. Let's say they're looking up, but you can't having vagina mouths. Did you know there's this guy called Frank Frazetta, and he paints paintings because he's a painter of paintings. A paintist, as some people call them. Some people being nobody, because I just made it up in my head. I wanted to see, because I was planning on doing a Death Dealer painting. Yeah, Frank Frazetta's Death Dealer. You'll know him, you'll love him. Dark helmet, blood red eyes, that iconic axe. He chops people up, and you know. I believe that painting is in here, so I thought I'd just look at it for reference, so it's in my head if I do go to do that painting. And you know, while we're at it, we can just look at some of his other stuff. I've shown this book before, but it does, you know, who's going to pass up an opportunity to jizz all over some Frazetta paintings? Yeah, that's cool. Alligator. I love the blood red in the background, man. I've said before, and I'll say it again, red is a notoriously difficult colour to paint well. I think, like many other colours, it depends what you paint it on top of. Like yellow is a really certain one of those words. What are words? Pictures are important. Oh, gas! I drank a load of Pepsi beforehand. Look at that old fuck. Who's he? Oh, it's the guy. Paintings, that's what we want to look at. Fucking paintings. Yeah, yellow is one of those colours that's really difficult to paint with. Not difficult as such, but the yellow can come out differently depending on the colour underneath it. So you want to, you know, put something light underneath it, obviously, to make it pop. But if you paint like a, you know, it's easy for the yellow to show up green or brown depending on. And red is difficult too. That's so nice, man. Even that is really fucking cool. Like, if I could paint that, I'd be happy. I'd call that a finished painting, and people would go, well, it doesn't look finished, Ewan. Maybe you should tidy it up a little bit. And I'd say, shut up. But then you see it as a finished piece, and it's like, oh, man. Guy's a bit good, isn't he? And the detail in the helmet and stuff, and the way the shine is like just on the with all of the God damn it, just fucking good, isn't he? And that's ultimately all this is going to be. Is, oh look, he's good. Oh, that's good too. Oh, this is good. I like the green. Did he say? Yes, started getting letters from people asking about the green swirl. What was it? What did it mean? Was it an alien? They were reading all sorts of things into that patch of green. I didn't have the heart to tell them. I just thought the painting needed a little green for interest. I wasn't trying to create a mystery. Love that. He was painting it, painty. That could have been, you know, sort of orange to match this red. Could have been a darker red, this kind of dark red, or the creamy colour here. But he thought, nah, fucking stick a green in there. That would be nice. Also, I don't know what all these fucking people are going, was it an alien? What is it? What is it? If anything, just fucking venom, spider venom, floating up to the surface because it's a spider and they're venomous. So you can just say it's spider venom if you have to say it's anything. But it's not anything. It's just a fucking bit of green because it looks nice. And good. That's exactly how you should paint. You go, hey, wouldn't it be cool to bit of that? Yeah. There's that old Calvin and Hobbes strip where Calvin's looking up at the sky, just like standing there with his hands behind his back looking up, and Hobbes is like, what you doing there, little buddy? And Calvin's like, oh, you know, just appreciating the beauty of the whatever. And he goes, oh, it's great, isn't it? And something, and he goes, oh, but what it needs is a little bit of red right there, like, and he points up to an area. And then they're flying a kite at the end of it. So he's flying a kite to just put a little spot of red up in the sky. Just, you know, it's nice, isn't it? It's nice. It's sort of, it's cool. It's nice. I don't know. Shut up. And this painting got changed like 1 billion times. Which I've had a few, very, very, very few, not often, but it does happen where you get clients requesting changes to a piece you've done, where they're like, "Oh, this is so good, but just this little bit. Could you make this like red instead of blue, or could you just change that?" It's fucking annoying, but if they paid for a piece that they want something specific, then they do have a right to sort of, as long as you make it clear they have a right to do it, because you can say no changes. Once it's done. You accept it, take it, and move on. And if they still pay you to do it, then that's that. That's the contract they're signing or whatever. But if they're paying for something they want specific, that it is sort of within their rights to say, I'd rather have it a bit more like that. It's going to change it a little bit. Change it. I've never had to make more than one change to a piece, so the fact that piece was changed like multiple times, I'd just fucking scrap the thing and start over. Well, that me. Love that fucking brain in the background, man. The brain. The reflection of it too. The fucking... It's good. These pages are really thick. I keep thinking I'm turning two at once, but... This horse, I mean, the musculature of the guy is incredible. Obviously, it's Frank Frazetta, that's what he bloody does. But the musculature of the horse, and like the straps, like with just using the little bits of shadow here, and here, just to indicate where the straps are like stretching across these muscles with the little valley going underneath it. Just little highlights. So good, man. So fucking good. I love this lizard. I think that's really solid feeling like object. The highlight on the lip helps. The highlight on this little like ear bit and the shape of the head, the highlight here, and this bit of the arm being in shadow. The heavy black shadows there with the... It just feels like such a solid fucking lizard. That's really, really cool. That's how I learned to paint, is looking at shit like this and going, oh, fuck. Put the highlights here and here and the shadow, just dark shadow, just a little bit here. Just gives it that weight, man, that fucking weight. And it goes on for fucking $6, get out of here. That's from The Simpsons. A good example of silhouette. Like using, I'm trying to do that more with Gun Viking, like just highlight the upper parts and then just have like solid shadowy shapes. It gives it a good sort of contrast, good sense of form, light and texture and fucking body and paint, penis. There he is. That's our boy. It's your boy. DD. That's D-Lo. What? Fucking good, man. And obviously there's other Death Dealer paintings. I think Frazetta did another one or two, maybe more. There's at least another couple that are like fairly famous Frazetta pieces. And then there's a load of others. Bisley did a whole comic with, is it Glenn Danzig or whatever? Which is really, really cool. Some of the artwork in that is just... I need to get a copy, but I just can't find it. I think I saw one copy that was like hundreds of pounds and like... I'm not. Just sometimes I will do that, and it's a Bisley comic, and I probably should, but I guess I wasn't feeling it at the time. But iconic for a reason. The shapes, the colours, the composition, the same like he did with the green in that one painting. The red of the eyes, and then just the red, because he's not drawn like red blood all over it dripping off. Anything dripping is like black, so it's like thicker and heavy, and it's just sort of a faint red on the front of the axe there, and quite broad strokes indicating the metal of the axe, and then which is contrasted by very fine strokes of the detail on the helmet and the chainmail and everything, and the fucking detail on the horse like saddle armor thing. It's insanely intricate, and the lighting on it is so good. Like it just glows here outwards and then into the shadows here and here. The little... You can see where it curves like this, curves up at the bottom here, where it's just catching the light on the lower part of these rings hanging up. Man, and then very, very loose, painty, sort of like ground they're standing on, and then the very loose, thick brushstrokes of the legs going up into the slightly more refined muscles of the horse. And even then, not really heavily defined as they have been in some other pieces. Just enough, like, very hot highlights here, deep shadows there, the skin joining the leg to the torso there, the face with the smoke or the air or whatever coming out of it, the harness and all. And it's such a thick, solid horse as well, such a specific type of horse. It's not just like you draw horse and it's horse-shaped, Bojack Horseman or whatever. It's a specific, I don't know the name of the breed or anything, but a very like solid, sturdy war horse with its thick head and neck, thick thighs and shit, short cropped tail with loose strokes showing the strands and everything. It's really fucking good, man. Hands cool, the thumb like pointed slightly upwards instead of just like, because it's so easy to just draw the thumb pointing down, but it's pointed slightly upwards and you can see that it's pointing slightly upwards. Hey. Yeah, so I've got an idea for a Death Dealer painting, and as every single fucking time, I can't decide if I want to draw like this, just Death Dealer standing there being cool and ominous, or if I want to draw an action pose with him chopping up a bunch of fuckers. That's for me to decide. I could always do two, do one of each, failing the to make a choice. Oh shit, it's even bigger. The details, man, the details. And like details like this, I'm confident I could paint something relatively similar to this. The main issue I'd have is just knowing what to make it look like. Like you can say, oh, kind of like, you know, floral design that's been carved into the metal of the thing. Yeah, you could research it, which I never do, which I could fucking actually try to do sometime. You could look up, like, you know, medieval armour carvings and shit and draw designs and get ideas for it. But off the bat, I'd be like, a few curly-whirly bits, I don't know. Whatevs. Whoa, nice meaty woman. And it's the paleness of the breasts and the upper part of the torso fading into a slightly more tan skin with the not thick, like almost thin, but very dark, slight black spots underneath for the shadow. And there's something I try to point out every now and again, which I don't know how clearly you can see it. But like, there's shadow here and shadow here, and almost no real shadow in between, where the breast is sort of pushing up against the arm, which I always try to say, especially when you're drawing feet on the ground, is where the skin is more compressed into the floor. You remove as much of that line as possible and just put shadows either side of that bulge, and it really gives it a sense of form, of one form pressing up against another form. And that's a perfect example here of that shadow there and this shadow here, and less shadow connecting the two. Spot on, Mr. Frazetta. Aren't you good, talented painterist? I mean, I only wanted to look at Death Dealer, and I'll look at him some more in my own time, I am sure. So we can just sort of blaze through the rest of it, because, you know. This is quite interesting. So this is the Silver Warrior. I painted the Death Dealer and Silver Warrior back to back. I had been sitting on my laurels, just going through the motions. Then there was a rumour that disturbed me, that I was washed up, that I hadn't done anything major in years. They chopped me up for dinner. That's loyalty for you. It made me decide to show them the old spirit. I sat down. Death Dealer was born, and then Silver Warrior, in some ways, better than anything I'd ever done. Which is really, really cool. Everyone was like, "Go, Frazetta, what's he done? A bunch of fucking schlubby, schmucky, whatever novel covers, like whatever. Oh, fantasy sci-fi novel. Oh, you did the cover, great. What is there, like a big triangle and a guy with a sword? Oh, amazing." So he was like, "All right then, cunts. Fuck the lot of yous. Here's this fucking guy. And then straight after, here's this fucking guy." And they're both amazing in their own ways. I love the the sort of mountain peaks or whatever in the background with like this, just like I could steal this for Gun Viking easy. I probably should. I have a little bit of an issue with like parody covers. Cartoonist kayfabe seem to do a lot of those, especially Ed Piskor for his Red Room. He does so many like parody covers. Like it's Red Room, but it's in the style of fucking Frank Miller or Todd McFarlane or whatever. Like the character in the pose of a classic. Like there's a Sam Keith one he did. Of a classic comic book cover, but it's the Red Room character and whatever. So I could do something like that, like just repaint this, but have Gun Viking on the thing and have like, I don't know, fucking pigs or boars or like those weird steeds. Fucking. These fucking guys. I could have them here. Gun Viking. And then just literally straight up copy the background and everything. The hair going into the sword and whatnot, and then obviously give him a fucking big gun here instead of a sword. I could do that, and make sure people know I'm not like I came up with this on my own. Like, no, it's a parody of or an homage to a homage. We like that to a Frazetta piece, which I could do just for the fun of it. But I don't think I'd be comfortable using that for a cover or something. For covers, I think it's better to have your own, your own artwork. I say that, actually, my first idea for the cover of issue 5 of Gun Viking was to have almost exactly this, and have it be purposefully a Frank Frazetta rip-off, where Gun Viking is on top of a pile of bodies, chopping them, shooting them, whatever. So maybe I will. I spout a lot of shit. I don't adhere to it all. I say what I want, I do what I want. I don't give a fuck. Still working out the kinks. Every time he thinks his third eye blinks. Must be in the blood like zinc. Glassy-eyed B, put your CD on Jinx. Is this cheating? Is it cheating to use guidelines? I mean, it looks shit already. I hate it already. The worst part is I'm used to just adjusting my hand and like moving my wrist and shit when I draw. And the worst part of doing this whole thing is the apparent inability to do that, because that's moving the pen and you can't move the pen if you... Ugh. This isn't a fun challenge. Why do I think this would be remotely good or interesting to do? Stupid, boring, I hate it. Well, it's not boring. It's a little bit stupid. And I do kind of hate it. Hey, maybe it gets me out of my comfort zone. Maybe that's a good thing. It's good to get out of your comfort zone and do things that challenge you sometimes and makes it, harder to fucking whatever. Apparently. That's what they tell you, anyway. Do you believe everything I tell you? Do you believe it? Oh, it's good to come out of your comfort zone. It's good to try new things. Is it? What if I don't want to do that? What if I want to stay locked up in my room and never try anything new ever? What then? Well, then it's just, you're not going to have fun. You should branch out more and try. I just took my fucking... Because that's... you get to here and you just go, right, now let me just adjust, and you... God damn it. It's not even good. I don't know. I don't want to... Ugh. I mean... I guess I've got to try, haven't I? At least try and do it. Ewan can draw anything. He's the best artist I've ever seen in my whole life. Yeah, can you draw Astro Boy without taking his pen off the paper? Wow! Can anyone, really? Can anyone do that? Can literally anyone do that? Does anyone want to do that? No. Why? Because it's boring and stupid. I just took my pen off the... Okay, let me... Because that's what I was going for. I figured, what if I do it like one of those drawings that's made out of entirely scribbles? Because that's all I can really think of is as an antidote to... Rather than make it look like one of those drawings made out of wire that just looks shitty, if I make it like one of those drawings that looks like all scribbles, which are, you know, maybe kind of shitty. Is that because that's an art style that, like, when you're a teenager, an art student, and you're getting into like art and contemporary art and illustration, and you realise you can make entire pieces of artwork out of just scribbles. You're like, wow, hey, that's amazing. And then you see some people who are, you know, relatively good at it. It's like, oh, wow, blow my mind, man. But then once you actually learn about, like, art and drawing and stuff, you realise all those scribble drawings are sort of just kind of bleh. Like, one or two is okay, but then once you do loads... Because there are artists who just do that, and that's like... I think like anything... Once you get past the gimmick of it, it's like, okay, stop now. I get it. Oh, you drew it with your feet. That's amazing. Now what? Here's another one I drew with my feet. Okay, now what? Here's another one I drew with my... Okay. Is the drawing good? What does it represent? Well, it was drawn with my feet, and it represents that it was drawn with my feet. Okay. But now what? Wow, here's another one. Shut up, I'm still not entirely at full health. I'm allowed to have opinions. I'm not allowed opinions unless I have been unwell. But I have been unwell, so I'm entitled to all of the opinions. Ooh, we're partying now. It's almost working. Almost. I mean, this is hardly going to be... Like, if I do post this on Instagram, I don't know. It's not going to be one of those drawings I'm really proud of. And I know that's not the point. It's not... The point of, like, a little funny, fun little challenge like this isn't to create the most amazing piece of artwork you've ever done without taking the pen off the page. But as a visual artist, that argues that aesthetics is absolutely important when creating artwork. It just bums me out when I make artwork that isn't what I consider to be aesthetically pleasing. And I think it is important that shit looks good, and it's a visual medium, is visual art, you know. I think having something look good is important. And I think it's important to put effort into making shit that looks good. Because there's enough bad shit out there that I think it's worth spending time and effort to make shit look good. But that's just my opinion. What the fuck do I know? Okay, and now the problem I'm finding is even if I think I'm done with this, I can't like take my pen off the page and sit and look back at it. I have to like drag my pen here to give myself space to look, to see if it's what I might consider done. Which it almost certainly isn't. Should I give him a nose? I don't know. I don't know if I should give him a nose. I feel like it might look silly. Maybe it will look silly without a nose. I don't know. I don't know. Frankly, I'm a little bit surprised I've even managed to not take my pen off the pages. You know, that's an achievement in itself, isn't it? Or is it? Maybe for some people that's really uninteresting. Maybe for most people that's really uninteresting. Maybe it's absolutely... Oh, I just took my pen off the page. Okay, well, I guess maybe that's done then. Wow, it's drawn in one line. That's amazing. Wow. I mean, one line, technically. But that's... I mean, you could say one line. I guess technically it's without removing... Or without taking the... Well, I don't know. It's fucking... It's shitty little astro... It's something. Shut up. That's it. I'm almost better. I'm almost well again. Whether you like it or not, normal service will resume shortly. This is just a fill-in, just because I'm getting into. I'm gonna be getting commissions done. I'm getting books sent out. I'm gonna have an art sale at some point, selling a bunch of drawings. Maybe I'll sell this. Maybe. I hope you're all good. I'll see you in a bit.